All right, welcome everybody to another rendition of Getting Ready to Recover. Today's topic is going to be a restaurateur's guide to keeping the orders flowing. But I tell you, I've been telling a bunch of people that really this is going to apply to so many of us small businesses out there because the lessons and the principles that these two have been implementing are things that transcend the industry that we're in. I want to introduce myself. My name is Cohen Barnes. I am the co-chair of DeKalb County Unites. And I have Courtney Strohacker here with me. Strohacker here with me. These guys love it because I've gotten everyone's names wrong, including people have been calling me. I think Conan was the last one I got. I think it's just a reflection of the time, energy, and stress that we've been putting into this organization. So, real quick, DeKalb County Unites. This is a grassroots movement that's happening in DeKalb County right now. It is a combination of Northern Illinois University personnel, small business owners like myself, like Jeff and Bill here on the call today, Courtney with the CVB, Chambers of Commerce, individuals, elected officials, government officials, you name it. All of us, as soon as the COVID-19 crisis really hit home and the shelter-in-place order came down from the governor, it was greatly apparent that the small business community was going to get crushed through this. And we needed to come together to figure out how we were going to move the needle and create a positive economic impact on our small business community. Question comes up, well, why? Why would we want to do that? Many of us understand and know that and have friends, family members, neighbors that all work for small businesses. Small businesses combined are the largest employer in DeKalb County. Small businesses are the ones that support our schools, support our nonprofits. The small business community is the lifeblood of DeKalb County, and everything we can do right now to drive dollars and drive focus to that sector is in the long run going to do nothing but benefit everyone that lives in our county. So you can find out more about DeKalb County Unites by going to DeKalbCountyUnites.com online, or you can search for us on social media by DeKalb County Unites or DK Unites. You're going to find us. I encourage you to like us. I encourage you to share us. I encourage you to follow us, whatever it takes. Try and stay current. And to all you small business owners out there, that is a great place for you to go and find additional information to figure out how you can take advantage of the stimulus money that's out there, take advantage of the knowledge that's out there from other small business owners like Bill and Jeff that are sharing what's happening out there right now, that you can apply those principles to your business in order to make a positive economic impact on your business right now. So like I said, today is Getting Ready to Recover. It's a webinar series that we do every Monday, every Wednesday, and every Friday at 2 p.m. Wide range of topics, wide range of guests that come on. All of these sessions are recorded, and maybe the first one didn't because I probably clicked something wrong. But all of these are being recorded, are being posted onto our website and onto our social media and the Convention and Visitors Bureau's YouTube channel. So you can find all these previous sessions, feel free to share them, rewatch them, and anything would be fantastic. In order to communicate today, if you didn't hear me earlier, if you look at the bottom of your screen, you will see a button that says Q&A, that's question and answer. Feel free to click on that, go ahead and type in your question, and Courtney or myself will see that, and we'll go ahead and ask these two your question, and we'll make sure that we get it answered. So I thought I'd start really quick with an introduction. I'd let Jeff and Bill introduce themselves. We'll probably start with Jeff. Can you just tell us who you are, what restaurant you own, and anything you wanted to share about Fatty's?
Sure. Jeff Dobie, Fatty's Pub and Grill and Fatty's Catering Group here in DeKalb. I've been doing this for about 20 plus. Actually, this was to be our 20th anniversary. Was going to be this June. So for marketing purposes, I'll probably do it next year as our 20th anniversary. But yeah, we've been here for a while. We're in tight with the community, with NIU. Not just an NIU business, but a DeKalb business. Love our local customers, love our student customers, love athletics. That's what we're here for.
Awesome. All right, Bill, what about you? And tell us a little about Lincoln Inn and Faranda's and anything you want to share.
I'm Bill McMahon from the Lincoln Inn in downtown DeKalb. Lincoln Inn is a family restaurant, independently owned in the heart of downtown DeKalb. We're open for breakfast and lunch. And then Faranda's is a banquet center that we added about 6 years ago, where you can hold the larger events, the 200 to 300 to 400 people on there. again, we're tight knit with the community. We're tight knit with NIU, and this is what we do. Just hospitality is what we do around here.
Awesome. And you both mentioned tight with the community. There's no doubt about it. Anyone who is involved in the community in any way, shape, or form probably personally has been touched by the two of yours involvement in your organizations within our community. So thank you so much for that. I thought I would just kind of kick today off with, I'd love to hear your story on where you were at when it all happened, and how it hit you and how you transitioned. We've got a slew of questions that we'll go through, getting into the weeds of it. But I thought just from perspective and just for all of us to get to know you a little bit, tell us a little bit about when COVID-19 hit and how you reacted to it. And I guess we'll start with you, Bill.
Okay, cool. When COVID-19 hit, we had heard talks about this and whatnot, but we were actually gearing up for just before St. Patrick's Day. It's a busy time for most restaurants, hospitality. For us personally, we had a big 300-person event scheduled here at the banquet center. We had brought in all the food. We started to prep the food. We're told by the locals, yep, we're going to have the event. And then I think it was about the Thursday before all this went down. It was surreal. The phone would ring, and it was just people canceling event after event after event, catering jobs after catering jobs. It was by the end of the day, you picked up the phone expecting a cancellation, and you just laughed. It really hit the fan when the Friday before this 300-person event, when the customer called me, and they called the event planner over at Faranda's and said, we can't do the event. And that was surreal because we literally had food cooked up, and I had to call the customer and just say, we have to talk about what we're going to do here. I think we're similar to Jeff. We had brought in a large quantity of liquor inventory. We were sitting on all that at the time. Didn't think that it would really get to this, but here we are. Go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah, my view's a little different. I was actually on vacation in Florida with my family. And it was grandmother's 80th birthday party or birthday event. Went down there, and we've got 3 little kids, so we kind of have been keeping tabs on what was happening. And then as we were coming down, the vibe, I just got a feeling that things were gonna, kind of accelerate. And just like Bill said, that's one of our busiest weekends of the year. It's the weekend before St. Patrick's Day, so a lot of folks celebrate that St. Patrick's Day on a Saturday or a Sunday if they have a normal 9-to-5 job. So a lot of corned beef and cabbage brought in. Is also IESA State Wrestling Championships at the Convo Center, which is a massive 2.5 day event. Friday, Saturday, bleeds over into Sunday a little bit. And there was IHSA Super Sectional Basketball on that Tuesday, St. Patrick's Day. So all of those things together really combined for one of the busier 4 or 5 day stretches that we have outside of football season, and actually even including football season. So yeah, we had probably one of our larger delivery days were Thursday and Friday. I was kind of already nervous because I'm usually around for these events, but my wife convinced me not to be around that weekend. So yeah, it was like Bill said, it was surreal. And we had some catering events also booked, and we started to get calls from groups canceling. A lot of the wrestling teams said that, hey, they're holding the event, don't worry. And then of course, Friday at like 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock, it was canceled. And once that happened, and once that got out, even though they didn't really do the shutdown until Monday, the weekend became basically a non-event. I think everybody was already, that feeling was already out there. And so our business dropped from what would have been, again, one of our top 5 weekends to basically one of our bottom 5 weekends. And it just kept on, the bleeding just continued through St. Patrick's Day. And here we are now. We've got the same thing, a bunch of inventory, a bunch of waste lists compiled, and trying to figure out what to do with what you got.
Yeah, I mean, all of us small business owners and everyone has their own COVID-19 crisis in their story, absolutely. I can't imagine what it was like for you all to one day things are the way they've always been, and almost literally the next day, your entire revenue stream is getting severed. So on that, I'm kind of curious. So you can't have people come into your restaurants. You can't do catering gigs, and all the major events that lead everyone to come into your restaurants and your banquet facilities get shut off. So what as a restaurant owner, what did you guys do to transition your revenue stream? Like, where was your head at? What did you try that failed? What did you try that worked? Any insight you can give some of the small restaurant and large restaurant owners actually in the area, any tips and tricks that you learned as far as generating revenue, I think would be great to share. And I'll kick it off with, well, whoever wants to start, or Jeff, you can start.
Sure. Yeah, so again, it was happening really quick. So St. Patrick, I'll just go with St. Patrick's. That was the first day it started. What was pretty neat about that was we still got a lot of response for carry. So we just basically in about 48 hours flipped our business model from a from a dine-in, sit-down restaurant with carry-out being 10 to 15% of our business, and no delivery whatsoever except for the food services like an Eat Street, to a carry-out delivery service. You have wait staff who kind of also were relying on a lot of those tips for that weekend, scrambling to make sure they've got licenses, turning your waitresses into delivery drivers. You don't have enough phone lines for that kind of operation. So we just on the fly. And again, I was on the phone the entire way home trying to figure out how to do this. And kudos to my staff. They really rallied around, and St. Patrick's Day went off. I think we actually sold 145 corned beef meals, which I was blown away by.
No doubt.
Yeah. And that really made me feel good because I hadn't felt good for about 4 days prior to that. So that was great. People came out of the woodwork. My phone was blowing up. The phone at work was blowing up, and our staff did a great job, suddenly doing curbside. And then after that subsided, there was kind of a push, and this organization helped out a lot in terms of just getting, people to understand that these restaurants, they're part of the community and they need to survive. So there was a kind of a transfer over to people doing a lot of carry out, and it was still kind of new. And I can even, trying to remember those first few days, it's kind of a blur, isn't it, Bill? You're just, we didn't know if we could do carry out alcohol. That was one of the things that, since we had so much, we knew we could do food. So honestly, I called Bill Nicholas Sunday evening from Florida, and I asked him that question, and his answer was pretty honest. Like, sounds like it should be a good idea to me. Let me, run up the flagpole and see what happens. But I took that as kind of a yes. So we're going to do it until someone says otherwise, and they approved it. So that was, we started doing package, and it started out small, and then just trying to figure out ways to do what you used to do pretty well, which was cocktails and different types of drinks, and making sure that that was being delivered, out the door in a sealed container. So that's kind of, I'm sure Bill's got some things, and I can go back onto it, but that's where we start just looking around and taking your menu and things that wouldn't work for to go or carry out, we just X'd it. Things that were specialty order. We used to do a fresh salmon that was flown in twice a week. It's not going to hold. If you don't sell enough, you got to get rid of your waste. You got to get lean. So anything that was not selling after that first week, we cut off of our menu. We just got rid of it. And the things that do sell, that's what you're bringing in, and that's what you're focusing on.
How about you, Bill? When you made the transition, what things did you do that really made it and have been working? Let's just call it well. Everything's relative. And ideas that might have flopped. I'd love to hear what Lincoln Inn and Faranda's have done.
So for Lincoln Inn is downtown DeKalb, locked in the middle of a block, 240 East Lincoln Highway. And when the proposal came up there, do curbside business, things like this, that didn't sit well with me, because who's going to pull up on State Route 38? Your driver's side door is out in traffic and whatnot. And I had a bad feeling. And then I think it was probably on Sunday night, just kind of having a sleepless night and laying in bed, and I'm thinking about it. And I thought, I've been involved through Rotary and through the years with so many of these drive-through pork chop dinners where the kids sell the tickets for the Boy Scouts or the Rotary Club or the St. Mary's School. Let's do meals like that. So then I had the idea that we're going to do drive-through meals at the banquet center at Faranda's, because over there we have a parking lot. So it's possible. And then I just limited my menu, just like Jeff did. You can't do the fresh salmon that went or didn't go. I picked out, people are saying we support small business. And so I'm like, I really tested my customers and said, all right, if you really support us, let me pick your dinner on Monday. And on Tuesday, we're going to do pot roast. And on Thursday, we're going to do the roast turkey. Friday's root and the fish fry, but we're picking. So if you call us, we'd love to have you, but I can't do an omelet for you today or a cheeseburger for you tomorrow. This is what it is. People have been very receptive of that. Logistically, with the parking lot that we have here at Faranda's, it's worked out very well that the cars can come through the front of the lot. We greet them at the front door. We confirm their order, settle up with them monetarily, and then they proceed down the back of the banquet center, and somebody from my staff presents them with a bagged up meal ready to go. So that's worked out well there. The liquor to go has been phenomenal. When the city of DeKalb passed that law, I thought, oh, that's nice, but that's never going to happen. But I'm amazed at how many bottles of wine we've sold. So what we do, and it's an impulse buy. We do it like the grocery stores do. We put out a couple totes of beer and wine, and as you're coming on up there, you'd be amazed at how many people are like, yeah, I'll have a bottle of wine with my fish or my chicken or my shrimp. So it works out well.
That's smart. Yeah, it's times like this that our local government being as flexible as possible is what really contributes to the success. And I've heard both of you talk about the city of DeKalb and reaching out to the city manager and hey, here's an idea. And you know what? They just made it happen because short term, it can do nothing but cause a lot of benefit to both of your organizations and any other organization that took advantage of it. So I'm really proud as a taxpayer to see how local government has stepped up from that standpoint to help out the business community. To call out kudos, I mean, you mentioned the city of DeKalb. What about anything with Northern Illinois University that you guys could comment on, how they've been helpful maybe to your organization during this time?
Yeah, I mean, they also, I mean, again, that first week, everybody was kind of scrambling, and, there wasn't a lot happening. People are trying to find their footing, but NIU is definitely, in the last few weeks, above and beyond. They've, first of all, even just on social media, I've had football coaches, I've baseball coaches, actually all coaches have come through and got a meal or sent something and sent a picture out. Hey, support this. Fatty's was there for athletics. We're going to be there for them. They've bought meals for their office and along those lines. And then most recently, I know NIU has purchased meals, and I think with Bill also for students in DeKalb, those students that are still here, living in apartments, and who would normally be in class right now doing those things, and that's been a huge success. We had one of those days a week ago, and I think it's another one or two in the future, hopefully. But we had 100+ people come through for lunch, and what was cool for me was just seeing students, whatever they are, that in their cars, but outside. It was a beautiful day. It just happened to be Friday day, and they were happy. They were getting a free meal, and it was, and everybody seemed in a good mood, and had a large group of people in a good mood in one area for quite some time. So the vibe was pretty awesome. So yeah, no, NIU is doing their due diligence. They're doing a good job. It's just, every little bit helps, but there's those things can't last forever, I guess. So we've got to find a way to make this a business that at least can bridge us from point A, which I guess is still now, to whenever point B and C are, and that's kind of where we're at still. It's not perfect. We haven't figured everything out, but hopefully we can keep our staff employed and keep them paid and kind of grow this thing as we figure out what works and what doesn't.
And NIU has been phenomenal with the whole buying the meals for the students and the way they presented it. You first get this email and you're thinking, oh, this is one, it sounds too good to be true. Yeah. But they actually, Jennifer Gross sent out the email and she says, we will guarantee a $500 spend for these kids to come through. And I think for me, that was great because, you don't want to open up and cook a bunch of cheeseburgers or whatever, hoping for these kids to come through. But they just stepped right up and they said, we'll guarantee this. And as Jeff stated with the numbers, what I experienced with the numbers, the kids are coming through and the kids are really benefiting from it. They did one with us 2 weeks ago, and then I think they're going to do one with Jeff next Tuesday, and I think we're doing a dinner next Wednesday. They did one last night at what's the restaurant? Shawarma out in front of
Jamra, yeah.
They did one with Jamra, and I think 300 people went through there. It was phenomenal. So that's doing wonders to, it makes the day profitable. It's good.
Yep.
Just thinking about even from Sundog's perspective, I mean, here's a large organization that they buy nationally on a lot of stuff, but they've even reached out to purchase computers from us, which is really cool to see a large organization that's going to have a spend no matter what in many ways, actually focusing and redirecting some of those funds on the local economy, which is phenomenal. And to give a little bit of a plug to the reason why DeKalb County Unites formed, right, was to make an positive economic impact on the small business community in this county. But to do that, one of the challenges we had and missions that we had was to get these large organizations to spend here and spend now on the local economy. And it was awesome to see NIU step up, but also the DeKalb County Economic Development Corporation and its board of directors, along with Jennifer Gross from NIU, along with Jim Doherty from OLT Marketing, along with Coatley Strohacker from the Convention and Visitors Bureau, getting on the phone and calling these large employers throughout our entire county and saying, hey, here's some ideas, right? You can order food for your staff from local restaurants. You could buy gift cards. You could prepay, whatever. And it's been wonderful to see the support from our large employers and large organizations in the community. Spending money right now and putting dollars into our local economy has just been heartwarming in so many ways to see that. So I'm glad both of you have had a positive experience, including myself with Northern Illinois University in particular, especially with them being a part of Unites and such an integral part of Unites. So how about, can you tell me a little bit about like right now? So here we are, we're in the midst, you guys are scrambling, trying to figure out different ways to generate revenue. You've had some successes, but it is kind of a unique situation where your restaurants are closed. People aren't coming in. I'm a big believer in adversity, there's opportunity. So I'm kind of curious what you guys have done to take advantage of this situation right now, projects or whatever it might be. What are you doing right now? What can you recommend the other restaurant owners and small business owners in DeKalb County? How can they take advantage of this time to put at least a little silver lining in this sucker? Bill?
Well, I mean, one of the things I would always, my wife would hear me say this a lot, I love my job. I really do love my job. The problem is just too much of my job. So that we all have these projects where, if I could just have another hour in the day, I could get the point of sale up to snuff where I wanted, or I could redo these menus, or I could fix the kitchens, paint the kitchen the way it should be painted, all these things. So we're actually good, better, and different. We're doing it all now. So I'm working on a point of sale. We're upgrading to a new point of sale. We are painting. We have the front dining room all painted at the restaurant. We are painting the back kitchen. We are, the next project will be menus, things like that. One thing that another revenue stream for restaurants is always like home meal replacement. And this is forcing Jeff and I and all the restaurateurs to really come up with a knockdown, good home meal replacement project right away. One of the things that I'm having with the issue I'm having with our home meal replacement, the first week we did this, if you come to the Lincoln Inn, we specialize in eating inside. So to-go boxes, we never really went over the top and bought you these high-end to-go boxes. Now, and I'm sure Jeff's done the same thing, I've got the best to-go boxes that carry up the heat and cold as they go. So presentation-wise is there. But that's going to carry with us is this home meal replacement revenue stream and this where we are now is just not going to end. We're going to be doing this for the next months to come.
Yeah. How about you, Jeff? How are you taking advantage of the time right now?
Yeah. On the same lines, I mean, it's almost like a twofold question because I've been lining projects up with the hope that I think the payroll protection program comes through, and then you'll have all the workers you want to bring back in, but you won't have really the business to support all of that. So just like Bill said, I mean, I'm looking at, we've got wood floors throughout the entire restaurant. I'm going to, if things go well, even if they don't, I'll do it myself. But if things go well, I will pay my staff and we will sand, stain, and reseal the wood floors. We're going to break down every freezer and cooler in the building, rotate them all out, defrost the freezers, repaint them, do all those things that you've always wanted to do, but you never had time because you're always operating. I mean, most restaurants are only closed for 3 or 4 days out of the year, and to do some of these things, you got to close for a while. Tile work is the same thing. You got to let it sit for 48 hours. Well, geez, it can sit for 48 days now, and it'll be ready to roll. So yeah, I mean, anything you can keep your staff. I think the whole goal is to keep. I don't know if any of us are going to make any money. Maybe down the road when we get this thing a little more streamlined. But keeping your staff employed and keeping their checks going and making sure you can again pay what bills you have. So yeah, we're taking the tables taking the gum off the underneath the side of the tables and redoing the legs because they get dirty and grimy and all that stuff. I mean, every time I walk in, I'm sure my staff's tired of me looking around the building with a clipboard trying to find something for them to do. But there's plenty of time now, and but also going lean. The menu is something that I think most restaurant owners kind of put off because it's one of those things you have to break it off into chunks to do it, and your food costs, and then you have your 2 or 3 suppliers trying to figure out what your real costs are. But you've got time now, and your orders are small enough that you can really go in and pick and choose what's working and what's not, and re-engineer your menu so that it's as profitable as possible when this is all over, and get rid of some of the things that you kept them on because you had some regulars who say, hey, I come here for this, but it really doesn't make you any money and it's not selling much anyways. So that's a good project, and that's something that my kitchen manager and I have time now. And so we spend a lot of time sitting 6 feet apart at a table, looking over food invoices and trying to figure out, a better way to do things.
Yeah, awesome. I mean, again, we're in the situation, so it's time to make the best of it in any way we can. And yeah, you're right. And doing internal projects is a perfect opportunity right now. Okay, we got a crud load of questions that have kind of come in that I might just do some rapid question and answer. Either of you can chime in or both can chime in. But if I look here, your business has made successful adjustments during the current new normal. What questions or what concerns or preparations are you making for post shelter in place? So when the world rolls back, right? What are you doing to prepare for that? Or even are you even in that mindset yet? I guess would be a question too.
Not really there yet, but we are. It will come someday. The one thing is the new point of sale. I actually purchased a system in November, thinking I can get this in, and then the holidays came. So this sat in the basement of the restaurant in November, December, January, and now here we are. So my goal is, and I just talked to my manager with it today, I'm like, before we open, we are gonna have this new point of sale in place. I guarantee it because I'm canceling the other credit card processor today. So
we one of the things that we were looking at was I just lost my I think the future is going to be, again, whenever we get back to it, I think carry out and even delivery are going to be a bigger part of what we do. So just taking that and maximizing it. We're adding another phone line, figuring out better ways. Packaging. I had a ton of to go. I think there was a deal on it, and I still have like some of the older stuff that we're trying to blow through, because it's actually hard to get a lot of to go things now. But but I just think that the days of a restaurant that is, all tables are full, you got 100 to 200 people in there, those are going to be a while before they return. I just got that, not being a pessimist, I think that's a realist, is I don't see us packing it on homecoming next year or anything like that. So that being said, just trying to figure out what the medium is going to be. And if it's to go and delivery, then how can I do that better? And how can I kind of, Eat Street and the Uber Eats, they're great for now, but they take a nice chunk. And trying to circumvent that in the best way possible. If it's getting them to compete against each other, if it's finding a credit card processor who can save you a percentage point here or there, those things. So that I think a lot of us do it for a long time and just get used to making money the way we were making money. And now I'm counting percentage points. I always counted them, but I counted them in like chunks of 5 percentage points here or there. Now it's more like a percentage point here or there makes a huge difference. So just being lean. And so when it comes out, I don't want to have to, worry about my crew being bloated and kind of overstaffed. I want to be able to work with the leanest crew I've got.
So, hey, Jeff, along those lines, Vicky asked, because you were talking about still doing the takeout, do you think you'll still stay with curbside and liquor to go?
Yes, I will. I think people, there's going to be an overhaul, like a change in just how we do things. I think when it first gets up, will be a great social event, but I think people are going to be staying home a little bit more often. And we've had our curbside Bloody Mary kits, and even delivery, have been a huge hit. And it just kind of what took me so long to figure something like that. Well, I'd never really had to worry about it, but now why not? I mean, it's working. I think people get used to picking one up or having it delivered. I mean, think about it. Sunday morning, you have a Bloody Mary kit delivered to your front door. You can stay in your pajamas. You can get up and take your Bloody Mary and go about your day. So, I think just adjusting to that. Whatever we learn now shouldn't go away. I think, we've worked pretty hard in the last 2 or 3 weeks to build it up. I'm going to use it.
How about for both of you? This is a tougher question. I probably should have prepared you for it, but we talked about it on Wednesday with Open Door Coffee. There's a lot of questioning and pushback from some people in the public about the safety of doing curbside pickup and things like that. We all have our own ideas and concerns and worries, but I thought I'd give you both an opportunity to share why curbside pickup is still a viable and safe option for people in DeKalb County. Bill.
You are correct. There is some pushback, and I can tell you that we've experienced it here. And people are stressed, and I cut them some slack for that. Mm-hmm. My staff, what we do is we are diligently washing our hands. We have buckets of bleach water around. I mean, I think all of us have sores on our hands from bleach. We have all bleached our clothes from this. But you have to be safe. And so, we train the staff diligently, like keep your hands clean. You should keep away from the cars as far as you can. There's not going to be any hugging or shaking hands, obviously. But now it's getting to the next extreme, whereas last week we were taking your credit card from you and processing your credit card. This week we're actually trying to get away from that and doing it all with the numbers. And I think that that's well received. But people are nervous about it, but you have to be careful. We have to keep on living. People are going to keep on eating there. There are a lot of people out there that they thank us for the service that we're doing. They say, thank you so much for providing these meals. I'm sure Jeff's in the same boat, and I'm sure the other restaurants are in the same boat. We are doing this, and I don't think Jeff is making money off of this. I know that we're not making money off of this, the bottom line here. What we're doing is we're keeping our staff employed. We're keeping our teams together. And we are providing a service to some that need this product there. And as long as you do it with a good way, a safe way, and you train your staff accordingly, I think you'll be okay.
Any thoughts, Jeff?
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I think there's two groups of folks, and I go online and I do the research from the government's website and the health department's website. Carry out, as far as I've been told, is safe. I mean, there has been very little evidence that it's transmitted that way, but even though there's no way to be 100%. So yes, we have hand sanitizer throughout the building. Shout out to Whiskey Acres. I picked up some from them yesterday. So they're doing a bang up job. Gloves. Some of our staff who does not work at the restaurant has made us masks at home. So they brought in boxes of masks. So that was pretty cool. And just trying to, again, be aware that everybody's at a heightened sense of anxiety. And, but like Bill said, I think people feel pretty good when they can come and pick up their favorite meal and take it home and eat it. There's a sense of normalcy to having your favorite cheeseburger or fish fry or something like that, hey, this is what I wanted to eat on a Friday. Normally I'd be eating it, at one of the restaurants, but now at least I get to eat it. I'm sure we're all making meals at home plenty, and it's nice to have something else. That's for sure. And just cook and prep.
As an employer, we've had fatties for lunch, right? So I was able to treat the staff that is in my office. It was just wonderful. We social distanced, right? But it was really cool I don't know, take a pause from, we're all working really hard as an essential service, and we got to keep the small businesses running with technology. So we're operational, and I could offer them that. I could have, hey man, we're buying lunch today, and it's Fatty's and it's on Sundogs. That was really cool to have that opportunity. Or Bill, I've had chicken parmesan for my family, to be able to have that meal to go, and it was, my wife didn't have to cook, and they're already at home, sheltering in place, and people get sick of the day-to-day. And you're right, to have takeout, or like you're sitting in a restaurant and having Lincoln Inn food or Fatty's food is pretty darn cool. So I definitely appreciate it as an employer and as a father and husband, to be able to have that option. It's phenomenal. Hey, to talk directly to the small businesses that are out there and the other restaurateurs out there, can each of you talk about, let's talk about money, right? Finances. What have been some things that you have done to protect and conserve cash right now? We talked about different revenue generating ideas. But what about the money, the little bit of pools of money we all had? How are you maximizing that right now? So Jeff, you want to give us some ideas of what Fatty's has been doing?
Yeah, I think first things first is I was fortunate to have a really good relationship with my bank. And I think that's something that's pretty important for those of us who are shopping banks. Getting to know your banker, and not just the teller, but getting to know the individuals makes a huge difference. I know the bank manager at our branch, and if we had to put a stop payment on something, she took care of it. And some of them, if you know them well enough, they'll waive the fee or something like that. They all understand what we're going through. But yeah, so that's one thing, just having a bank that understands you, and if you need help, you can request it, and they're there for you. And I made a lot of phone calls those first few weeks, like, hey, listen, are you going to help me through this? And their answer was yes. But otherwise, to save money is, or it just, paying only your essential bills. I think every operation out there, from the US Foods and the Cisco, are offering terms now and understanding that. So request terms on everything. If it's your oil supplier, if it's NICOR, if it's ComEd, whatever it is, people understand what's going on. So if you can put off paying it, in my eyes right now, you put off paying it till later. I mean, right now, cash in hand, making payroll are the most important things. So I know the city gave us some relief on the taxes. I know there's some relief out there for payroll tax, and sales tax is a questionable thing. What was unfortunate about what happened was that sales tax was due the 20th, and we kind of got shut down on the 16th, and that weekend was wiped out. So that sales tax was from February. That's a big one, or not, February's February, but so that going through kind of wiped a lot of people out. And that was also our payroll week. So, we've had to make some tough choices on who, what, and when to pay, but kind of prioritize it. And I literally called every one of my vendors right down to Softwater City and said, if I'm not using it, I'm not going to use you. Waste management, I need pickup once every week or two, and just go through all your bills and cut off what you don't need anymore. Comcast, just keep the internet, whatever you got to do is squeeze it down to nothing if you can.
Yeah. How about you, Bill?
Same thing. The first thing when this happened is I reached out to my bank and I just asked them if I could get deferments on my loan payments, and they agreed to it. Good, bad, or indifferent, I'm lucky enough to have an SBA loan for the banquet center. And actually, with the relief package that passed, so not only do we get a deferment for that loan, but the SBA loans that were existing, you're going to get a 6-month grace period where it's all taken care of. So that's very good.
Yeah, principal and interest they're paying.
For 6 months. Yeah. So that will help. That will definitely help there. But yeah, having a good relationship with your banker is a must. And I think Jeff and I are in the same boat, that we both have good relationships with our bankers there. They've taken care of us. But loan deferments, I wrote down here. I'm sure in every small business person, they've all applied for the PPP and the EIDL loans there. So we spent the first week of doing this, on the SBA's website, going through the application for the economic injury disaster loans. Because that's what's gonna, selling drive-through is nice, but I mean, realistically, I'm operating on 10% of my revenues here, and that will not pay the bills. So if we can get some help with paying our staff here, we'll keep them employed, then that'll help the economy. But there needs to be something else, and I think that's going to be that economic injury disaster loan that's going to actually pull through here. And right, we cut everything that's not essential. The knife sharpening guy that comes through here, we're not doing it. The beer lines, Actually, it's interesting. The beer guy came through and he said, "You want me to just shut off your beer lines?" And I thought about it. I'm like, well, then we can't even drink the beer. So we did keep the beer lines going for a couple more weeks. You know, but if we don't need it, we're cutting it off there, and then we're going from there. The one thing that I am kind of going counter again, so is advertising. Now's the time. Now is the time to get your name out there, via social media, whatever way you can. But also, like the Daily Chronicle, they came out with a very generous offer of basically it's buy one get one free. So if you're going to spend $500 a month, they'll match it. Then you get $1,000 a month. So we actually went up on our spend for our print ads and our radio ads too. The local radio stations, they have the spots. They've given it to us out there. And so we actually went up on our spend on the advertising. Those are the only two. So it's food that we're paying for, it's labor that we're paying for, and it's the marketing still.
Yeah, and the idea of the bank is great. And those that didn't have a relationship with their banker, it doesn't help now, right? But when we all get out of this, having that relationship with the bank is great. Knowing your individual banker, but also having a line of credit set up for your business, whether you use it or not, hopefully not, but just having a line of credit established. So if something happens, you've got additional resources that you can go to for cash, and just preparing for. And I think that's what we're all going to learn from this is we have to prepare for the next time something like this happens, especially those of us with a little gray in our head. 2008 wasn't that long ago to me. And to go through another crisis, another financial crisis in my career is like, man, so it can obviously happen again. And then we all have to be cognizant of the fact we don't know what this fall and winter mean. You hear about a resurgence with this thing, who knows? So we need to all do our due diligence and be prepared for the next shoe to drop, essentially. But I think we're going to learn a lot and be stronger from this experience and be prepared for that time when it comes. I would be remiss taking care of caretakers. I definitely got to call that out. I know that's been an impact on your individual organizations, but Melissa Butts and her team out there have done a GoFundMe account. If you just Google taking care of caretakers, you're going to find her and contribute. But can each of you tell me, have they used you to supply food? And if you know, where'd they supply the food to?
Yeah, they actually, that was one of the bright spots early on in this whole mess for us. Is it was a Friday morning. It was probably 2 or 3 Fridays ago. The first that we're all closed, and the event planner over at Faranda said, I got a message from somebody on Facebook saying they wanted to have 20 of our fish fries tonight. And I was like, well, yes, we can do it, but probably it's too good to be true. But it was Melissa Butts, and she had just started the Fund Me account that night, and she said, I think she had inquired. She said, how much is a dinner? And dinner's $14. So she asked people for $14 donations to buy a meal for someone. And I don't know if she expected to do it one night, but she contacted us thinking to buy 20 meals. It turned into 36 meals that night. By the time that weekend was over, she had $15,000 raised, and she's been very good about sharing it with other restaurants.
Yeah.
I think they've done the whole gamut. My Friday morning phone call today before anything got going there was Melissa Butts in that organization. So on, I think it's Tuesday, we're going to take over 50 box lunches to the hospital. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's been great. They've done a really nice job of taking care of hospital workers and other first responders.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, same here. We did the hospital through Melissa. She has done an amazing job, and very similar story to Bill. I mean, it was like a little ray of sunshine.
Yeah.
NIU also had some gift in kind they use. I think the training department over there used it up, and it would have normally been for meals that I would have donated. They actually paid us for some meals, and they took over the fire departments and police departments. It was so much. So that kind of thing. Again, it's tough to donate now, restaurants, that's asking a lot, but giving them a fair price and having it go somewhere where it's really needed, that's pretty cool. I think we even had Victory Husky show up and pick up some of them. So that was a nice little blurb on social media. That kind of stuff's pretty neat. But yeah, there's people out. That's a great takeaway is there's people out there doing really great work, and just doing it. They didn't ask for anything out of it. They're just doing it because it's the right thing to do.
Awesome. All right, I've got too many questions. I can't even get to them all, but there's a few that I definitely wanted to hit before we wrap this up. Jack's asking, all right, the delivery services, Grubhub, Uber Eats, DoorDash, have they worked for you? And I think you guys said that they were, but they take a cut. He's wondering how much percentage-wise of your current meals are customer pickup versus delivery, and how much are you using your own personnel to deliver? So if we could hit that one, I think that's really pertinent.
I think I'm going to have to let you take this, Jeff, because about 4 months ago, I took the delivery services and I threw them all out. So I said, you know what, we concentrate on enjoyable dining experiences inside the house, and I can't take this anymore. So I had them all pick up all their stuff. So I'm doing everything with no delivery service. It's all pickup.
Okay.
We do deliver our catering, but it's one of those decisions now. I'm like, I wonder if that was a wise decision or not. I know at the time they were asking for about 40% from me, and I think we haggled down to they were getting 20% from me. But I mean, in the restaurant world, we shoot for, and I think this is, Jeff will probably back me up on this, I shoot for 10 cents on the dollar. If I do my job right, and Cohen, you come in and you spend $10 in my dining room, what I hope, and this is a big hope because a lot of times I don't do my job right, I hope to make $1. And that, you know, the servers are making $1.50, $2 off that thing, but we hope as operators to make 10%. When these services are asking me for 10 or 15%, it just doesn't make sense. So I threw all these things out there. So I have no delivery service. We're doing it all on our own. You know, will this decision be a good one or not? Hindsight will tell. Go ahead, Jeff.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Although it was, they were doing enough business with us to kind of justify it when things were going well. Now, so to answer your question, Cohen, yeah, it's about probably 30 to 40% of our current operation is through food delivery service. And that's, you know, still, what annoys me are the pickups because they get a cut of that also. And all you have to do is call the restaurant. So we're trying, there are some sites out there that can circumvent that. And we're putting one into place Monday that is more of, it'll be they put together your own website, and it's the same thing as like an Eat Street or DoorDash app on your phone, but it goes to your business, and it's just a Fatty's app, and they design it for you. And it's just a monthly fee. And I think a lot of these guys have knocked it down to almost nothing to get your business. And then, you know, hopefully you keep them around after the fact. I've negotiated it down to about 12 to 13% of my cost is going out to the delivery services. But yeah, our goal on social media is to convince people to call Fatty's for their delivery and or carryout. We've got plenty of staff who have, you know, got their cars ready and are happy to do delivery and have learned how to do it properly. And, you know, so we're getting that way, but it would be tough to right now if we did not have Eat Street already in place, because so many people were already using it, that it is a huge chunk. So to get rid of it altogether would be very difficult. If I could shift it to more of a 20 to 30% of my business and start to, you know, get those kids out there, because when a person in a Fatty shirt shows up, I think they get a better tip usually, and that's, you know, pretty important. So yeah, it's a chunk, and you're trying to find ways around it. That's for sure.
Okay. Well, I'd be remiss before we go, I don't ask each one of you if you could tell us what an individual in the community or what a large business could do to benefit each one of your restaurants over these coming weeks. So I'll start with you, Jeff. What is it people can do that would make the biggest impact for Fatty's right now?
Well, I think number one would be, yeah, I mean, if you are an operation that is up and running and you're doing 2 or 3 shifts, order lunch or dinner from one of us. You know, that is, if we know, what's great about that is if I know I've got a huge order, I could bring in 2 more people to work that order and they can get paid, and then we can get it out the door. We're tacking on a little service fee, so that goes straight to the folks putting it together, so it's a little more change in their pocket. That's the biggest thing. If those big orders allow us, I mean, the day-to-day stuff, ordering, delivery, and carry out through Fatty's directly instead of the delivery services would be one of those things. But those jobs, and we get a few of them. I know Bill gets a few of them too. You know, but if you can get one of those a day, it does make a pretty solid difference, just in the fact that you could employ 1 more staff member on that day for those bigger jobs.
And an individual, John Smith on 2nd Street, what can he do?
Oh, what can an individual do? Yeah, just call us directly for your carry out or delivery. You know, again, saving 10 to 15%. And then, you know, just stay home. So this is all over with.
Yeah,
Stay in your car, drive to Fatty's, link it in, then go home. That'd be great.
All right, Bill?
I concur with Jeff. I mean, when this happened, the first thing that had happened, and you're sitting with disbelief, the restaurant is closed. I sat at my computer one morning and I thought I got to write down my thoughts and what actually became of my thoughts. And I see Mr. Kiker has a question out here about gift cards. I just started to write what can people do to help with small business in this situation. And some people say, buy gift cards, buy gift cards, buy gift cards. And I agree, that's very nice. But my letter started out by saying, when you buy a gift card at a small business, it helps with cash flow. It will help me pay the electric bill. It'll help me these things here. But really what I need for my people now is I need work. We need stuff to do. We're cooks. We're hospitality people. That's what we thrive on. And so I composed this letter to every one of my catering customers. And I just said, you know what I need? I need orders. And if you are in a spot where you can buy some meals for your people, bring them. We'll do it. We will bring over 1 box lunch. We'll bring over 100 box lunches. We'll bring over 1,000 box lunches. But that's what we need. We need orders. And the corporate customers have been great in terms of that. That's what's getting us through. Because the drive-through business is nice. You might come by tonight and see a nice line of cars for the fish fry, and you'll be like, oh my gosh, they're rocking and rolling. But it's not replacing the $22,000 wedding that we were supposed to have here tomorrow night. It's not going to do that. So what we need is the orders. We need work for our staff and the corporations. If you have a business, if you are involved with the business and you guys can bring in some catering, bring it. And what I need so bad is work. I mean, we don't even need to be paid. Well, the payment will come, but we need. The second thing, if you're an individual, come on through. If you are looking for something to have tonight for dinner, stop by for a fish fry. What Jeff and I are doing, we're actually trying to redevelop our product mix. So at the Lincoln Inn, if you call me up and you say, Bill, can I get one of those stuffed cookies or can I do a cinnamon roll? The answer is going to be no, I'm sorry, we can't because they're not moving fast enough. But come on over tomorrow night. We're doing a steak, ribs and shrimp special tomorrow night. So that's what you can do. If you need something and on social media, help us with our reach. So, if I put a picture of some turkey and dressing out there, give me the thumbs up on it. Give me a positive comment. Give me some prayers. Don't tell me that my turkey looks processed. Okay.
No doubt. All right, wonderful. And the message to all you restaurateurs out there, if you listen to these two, they called their vendors, they called their customers, right? Business is a hustle, day in, day out. You gotta get up, you gotta do the grind. And situations like this, it's just a bigger hustle. So you gotta work for yourself. You gotta make your own destiny here. And things will happen if you put in the work, most definitely. I definitely got to call out, there's a statewide movement going on right now, #ILoveLocal. DeKalb County Unites has actually bought, I don't even know, 75 of these signs. And what it is a common visual to whether your business is open or not. So we're really encouraging any business that's open right now, restaurants, I know retail's not open, but anyone that is open and you want to draw attention to yourself, please come by. Courtney, I don't know where we all have them. I know there's some in the first floor of the Sundog building downtown DeKalb. Do you know where there's some other pickup locations?
So you can get them from your chamber if you are a chamber member. Genoa has them Sycamore and DeKalb, or you can get them at Sundog or Banner Up. If you put Banner Up first, they'll put them outside for you so you can just pick them up right from their parking lot.
Yep, and those are free. So Jeff and Bill, I would encourage you, if you could, throw those up in your windows, throw them up front, whatever we can do. Let's get the message out so when someone's driving down the street and they see that, they identify it with a business that is open. All right, that's all the time I got. I wanted to remind everyone that we have these webinars Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 2 o'clock. It's part of our Getting Ready to Recover series put on by DeKalb County Unites. Please go to DeKalbCountyUnites.com. Find out more about us, find out what we're doing. And if you're a small business owner, you can contact us there, ask us questions, and we'll put you in contact with whoever it might be that can get you the help that you need. But I just want to say to everyone, thanks for coming out today. Thanks to my guests, Jeff Dobie and Bill McMahon. I really appreciate it. And Courtney helping me with the moderation. That's great. Everyone, just stay healthy out there, stay safe, and have a wonderful Easter weekend this weekend. Take care, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you.